Mathieu, Clara, and Julienne had been planning this hike for months. A challenging but stunning loop nestled in the Alps promised breathtaking views and a night under a star-studded sky. With their backpacks filled with provisions, warm clothes, and a state-of-the-art GPS, they were ready for the adventure. The first day unfolded without a hitch. Snow-capped peaks stood proudly on the horizon as the trio trekked through pine forests and flower-covered meadows. By evening, they set up camp near a small stream. The night was peaceful, serenaded by the sound of flowing water and distant owls. The next morning, the group resumed their climb. The trail, well marked at the start, became steeper and narrower as they approached the summit. A light rain began to fall, making the rocks slippery and the trail markers harder to spot. "We should take a break and check the GPS," Clara suggested. Mathieu nodded and pulled out the device. The screen displayed a location error. Probably due to the low-hanging clouds, Julienne explained as he pored over their paper map. "The path must continue this way," he said, pointing to a steep incline to their right. They followed his lead, but after an hour of hiking, the trail vanished entirely. Ahead lay a sheer cliff. They had clearly taken a wrong turn. Clara pulled out her phone. No signal. Julienne tried to keep everyone calm. "We'll backtrack to the last marker and pick up from there." But retracing their steps, they realized they could no longer find the trail. The rocks and trees all looked the same in this untamed wilderness. The rain intensified, and the cold seeped into their damp clothes. They decided to seek shelter for the night. A small rocky overhang offered some protection. Night fell quickly, bringing an oppressive silence. Mathieu stayed awake long after the others, listening for any sound in the dark. At dawn, Julienne was gone. Clara and Mathieu called his name, scouring the area. No answer, no tracks. Panic set in. "Maybe he went to get help," Clara said, her voice trembling. They began walking in what they hoped was the right direction. Hunger and exhaustion weighed heavily on them. Every shadow in the woods seemed to conceal a threat. By late afternoon, they stumbled upon an old wooden cabin, isolated in the wilderness. "Maybe Julien's here," Clara said, her hope thin but persistent. The door was ajar, and the interior smelled musty. They searched quickly but found no trace of Julien. However, they did find rusty tools and a notebook stained with dark blotches. Mathieu flipped through the pages. They contained sketches of mountain landscapes and trail descriptions, but also chilling observations. "Hikers are careless. I watch them, and I know when to strike. They never suspect a thing." Clara turned pale. "Do you think this is—" She didn't have time to finish. Heavy, uneven footsteps echoed from behind them. A man appeared in the doorway, tall, wearing a filthy coat and holding a machete. His face was hidden beneath a hood. "You're on my land," he growled, his voice rough and menacing. Mathieu grabbed Clara's arm. "Run!" They bolted from the cabin, their hearts pounding. The man pursued them, his machete glinting in the fading light. They tumbled down a slope, stumbling over roots and rocks. The footsteps behind them grew louder. Mathieu tripped and fell hard. "Go, Clara, don't stop!" She hesitated, tears streaming down her face, but fear pushed her forward. Mathieu struggled to his feet, but the man was already upon him. Clara ran until dawn, finally emerging onto a forest road. A group of hikers found her, exhausted and hysterical, unable to say anything other than Mathieu's name. Rescue teams were dispatched, but Mathieu and Julien were never found. All that remained was an abandoned cabin with an empty notebook and a rusty machete leaning against the wall. Clara never set foot in the mountains again.